So in our last video, we talked about how much energy you use when racing and training and how important it is to stay well fueled. Under fuel and you will run out of gas and your performance will plummet. And I'll put a link to that video in the description below, so take a look if you haven't already seen it. Now, we discussed how most people need to take in 60 to 90 grams of carbs per hour to stay fueled. And this is especially important once training sessions and races take more than 60 minutes. So this video is about what 60 to 90 grams of carbs looks like, and we'll be looking at some standard off-the-shelf energy products, as well as some alternatives that you can consider, including recipes for energy rice cakes and energy gels and drinks, which can save you a fortune. So let's take a look. Okay, so 60 to 90 grams of carbs per hour is the most that most people can process. And when you're racing at an effort level of 7 to 8 out of 10 and above, you can rapidly burn through your carb stores. And given you may only have 300 to 400 grams available in your body to burn, it can run out very quickly. And again, watch our last video for more explanation on this. Now, in my experience of working with athletes on a daily basis, most under fuel. And that's why we put this video together to show what 60 to 90 grams looks like. So let's start by looking at some examples of regular gels and bars. As you can see on the screen there, we've got some examples up, and most of them are coming in 22 grams, 23 grams. And now these are standard gels and standard single servings. Now, if we add in the bars as well, again, you can see there's a selection of the main kind of energy bar brands that are out there. And again, 26 grams, 35, 44, 36. So they're all around that kind of ballpark. And because again, as you can see, the average of the gels is 23, 24 grams, and the average of the bars is around about 35. So this means to take in 60 to 90 grams of carbs per hour, you are looking at 2 to 4 bars or gels per hour. And if you're training or racing a middle or long distance event, you could be looking at, say, 3 bars or gels per hour for 4 to 5 hours plus. And in the case of a long distance race, up to 13 to 14 hours or even more in some cases. And once you add in long training sessions, you could be looking at hundreds of pounds being spent on nutrition across the season. And this is one reason why people often underfuel. Now, it is possible to make your own energy bars, gels and drinks at a fraction of the cost, and I'll pop a link in the description down below to our homemade energy videos. Okay, so now you know roughly how many grams of carbs you need to keep you well fueled and what that looks like in terms of bars and gels. Now, we're going to look at other fueling alternatives. After all you're doing is consuming carbs, and those carbs can come from plenty of other sources too. So here are some examples. So chocolate wafers, and we're using Tunnux wafers in this example, 21 grams. The small mini malt loaves, Sorines, 17 grams. Brioche with chocolate chunks, 18 grams. Bread and jam is a good one, 27 grams. Banana, 19 grams. And then finally at the end there, we've got jelly babies and jelly beans, both coming in at 21 grams. Now that's for 4 sweets, or the equivalent in jelly beans. Now, I'll add the prices on now so you can see what the prices are in comparison to the off-the-shelf energy gels. They're pretty cheap in comparison. We could be paying £1.50, £2 plus for an off-the-shelf energy product. So let's narrow it down a little more and compare jelly beans with an SIS Go Gel. Now, as you can see from our table here, they are virtually identical in terms of the carbohydrates and the other micronutrients that they give to you. So now you can see that a portion of regular off-the-shelf items from your local grocery store contains virtually the same amount of carbs as your branded gels. Okay, so why buy branded gels and bars? Well, I think the number one reason really has to be convenience. They're nicely packaged, they're easy to open, they're portioned, and they're ready to go. They're also easy to carry, and most race belts will have little elasticated sections on them, and tri-suits have gel pockets and straps and that kind of thing, so they're nice and easy to carry. Also, many gels have extra ingredients such as caffeine or electrolytes. Although saying that, electrolytes are just salts, which many of our alternatives have too. Now, also, many of our alternatives have the same convenience bases covered as well. It just comes down to what works for you. And we've put a video together to take a closer look at the alternatives, including things like ingredients, ease of carrying, flavor, what you're going to do with the wrappers, how easy they are to actually eat, and the price. And if you're interested in that, click the link down in the description to take a look. Finally, this is a big one. Rule number one is you've got to practice. Whatever you decide to try, you must practice to see how your body reacts, what works for you and what doesn't work for you, and get those quantities dialed in. And please do not do anything on race day that you haven't tried and tested in training. Okay, finally, the other option is you make your own energy food. It's easy, it's cheap, and you can control what goes into it. If that sounds good, take a look at our videos on making homemade energy, and I'll put the links in the description below. Well, I think that's it for now. I hope you found that useful. Give you some food for thought. It's really important fueling, so make sure you try and spend some time getting that right. If you did find this useful, please press to subscribe. We've got loads of great content coming out. Press the bell so you get notified about our latest videos. And apart from that, I shall see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.